Hi, I'm Madison Fitzpatrick, and I'm here with Ben Ecker, and we're talking about his desire to enter into the film industry as a future career. Ben, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so first question, what inspired your love for film?
My love for film came from my mom. 100% came from my mom. She was in the industry, and growing up, she would take me on sets and like the movies and TV shows that she was making. And from like the first day that I was like behind the camera watching her work and like seeing the work that was being done, I just like fell in love with it. And it just makes it even better when you get to see all of the hard work come together and just see it on screen like that.
Mm-hmm. At what point did your passion for film turn into your desire to enter into the film industry in the future?
It was when we had gone to France, and my mom was shooting a TV show in like this old castle. And I think the combination of, being in France and seeing every single piece of art that is just renowned throughout all of human history be combined with like modern filmmaking, it was just fantastic to see. And I think at that point I was only like 5, 6 years old, and I just like completely, I'm like, this is amazing, I want to do this forever.
And so that's when your passion started. How has it been fueled? Like, what fueled it to continue as you've gotten older?
Mm-hmm. I think it's become just a part of my life since I was a really young man, where it's every single day is intaking a new piece of like media, but that media that I intake is mostly film and TV. So it comes from an appreciation of art, just like every day it just grows and grows and grows and grows to a point where you just can't help but love everything that you see, whether it's something good or something bad. There's some sort of appreciation deep down under that really comes into it,
Yeah, that's awesome. So you said your mom was kind of the influential piece in that. Can you tell us more about her, what she does, and how that's kind of motivated you?
My mom is from Bogota, Colombia, and she came here as an immigrant in like the 1980s to pursue a filming career in movies and TV, and it just became like, I don't know what it was, but seeing her and just wanting to connect more with her really became a part of my life, because at a young age, my mom and my dad separated, right? So I didn't get to see a lot of my mom, but that connection to film and filmmaking kind of made me feel like I still had a strong connection with her.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's awesome. How tangible do you feel like your dream is?
Oh, completely tangible. Like, you don't have to step up on a stage and accept an Oscar for you to be a filmmaker. You can just create the stories that you want to tell and become a filmmaker without having to put the word aspiring behind it. Like, everyone's a filmmaker from the time they turn on the camera. It's just a matter of like your dedication and passion that fuels you to be or get to the point that you really want to get to. Oh, thank you.
What do you feel like, if anything, will hold you back from achieving your goals, and like what are the obstacles that you feel like you may come across?
The only thing that's probably going to hold me back is if I don't know, get in a car wreck and I can't move my arms or legs anymore. I literally don't feel like anything's going to stop me where I'll have to say, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. Like, it becomes ingrained in your mind and in your blood, where once that thing goes off in your brain where it's, I'm doing this, like, I don't think anything else in the world can do that other than films and filmmaking.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Do you have a backup plan career-wise? Why
Absolutely
or why not?
I mean, the need for a backup plan is already you're setting yourself up for failure. So, I don't know. It probably doesn't sound like a good idea, but I don't have a backup plan, because this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
It's like what I wanted to do, and it's what I'm gonna do.
Love it. What is your favorite thing about making movies, or like your top 3 favorite things?
It all has to do with self-expression. Any single part, whether you're editing, whether you're doing lighting, costume, directing, or writing, it's all a form of expression. And coming from a diverse background, I love seeing the expressions of so many people come together into one thing, right? So I just love that aspect of filmmaking. I think it's like the whole aspect of filmmaking for me is just seeing everyone's self-expression, because I feel like you don't get to see a lot of people in the world and see what they like and what they're into, but when you're on a film set or you're getting to make something with someone, you really get to see who they are.
Awesome. Can you describe for me your ideal future in the film industry?
my ideal future in the film industry has to be behind a computer in an editing bay, putting together and editing non-linearly, linearly, whatever the fact may be. But if I can be behind a computer editing for movie and TV, what I want to edit for most is Warner Brothers. I love any Warner Brothers property that's out there. I love Warner Brothers, but being an editor is my top goal, and it's just something that I really enjoy doing.
And you're gonna do it. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm back and I'm with Lexi Fitzpatrick, who is also an aspiring filmmaker and my sister. Lexi, thank you for coming.
Of course, happy to be here.
Okay, so first question, what inspired your love for film?
So I've always been really into storytelling and I love people watching. My great grandma used to say, like, just sit in a mall and watch people and just learn from them and see what their lives are. And so ever since a young age, like, I've loved watching people and trying to find out like what their story is or making one up for them. So I think it really derives from the storytelling aspect, and then it has moved into film because I think film is such a large vehicle in which to storytell.
Why do you think this passion for the film industry started, and how has that been fueled throughout the years?
So I wrote my first script I feel like it's late. I was like 17 when I started my first script, and I was 18 when I finished it. And it's just the power that you feel when you're able to create these lives, and the different emotions that you also can feel when you put yourself into these characters' positions as you're writing them. It's like impalpable. Like it just makes you want more and more, and you crave it. And so I think writing that first script, I was an assignment for a class. And so writing that first script, I was just hooked after that, and I couldn't get enough.
Awesome. Was there any person in specific that was influential in your desire to choose this career path?
Well, person that I know, I think I would say my grandma. She introduced me to like some classics like Gone with the Wind, Wizard of Oz, some old musicals when I was growing up, and I just fell in love with just like the capturing of a generation that each generation of filmmakers gives us. And so she was very inspirational in that. And then not someone I know, I'm in love with Steven Spielberg, and I just really feel like who he is as a striver and as someone who has had passion that has just been untapped still. Like, it's always growing. He's always been an inspiration. Like, I want to do what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. How tangible do you feel like your career path, your goals are?
I think it's 100% tangible. I mean, like, I want to be a screenwriter, and I'm already writing scripts. Like, I haven't sold any yet, but that's the next step. And I feel like, you know, it doesn't matter what level you are at. Like, as Steven Spielberg says, everyone has an iPhone now. Everyone can go out and shoot a film. So yeah, I feel like it's 100% tangible.
What obstacles, if any, do you think you may face?
One obstacle is I think that I set my goals incredibly high. So I don't think that there'll be an obstacle in achieving goals, but I think that I might, you know, at some point feel pressure that I'm not achieving them to the level that I want to. But I don't. That's just me trying to come up with an answer. I don't think that there's obstacles. Mm-mm. You know, you can do whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a career backup plan? Why or why not?
No. I want to be a writer, so if there are different avenues in which I can tell stories or write, like, sure, I'll take that. But at this point, I'm kind of zonal focused, and I don't think that I'll need a backup plan.
You kind of spoke on this earlier, but if you could just reiterate, what is your favorite part or a few favorite things about the making of movies?
So I obviously love screenwriting. It's my absolute favorite. I love the power. I love the connection to people. Like, you can put yourself into the position of like an 80-year-old man who has lived a completely different life from you, and you have to sit and you have to think, like, what would he say? How would he react in these situations? And then you just like become those people, and I think that's a beautiful thing. That's amazing. And so that's my favorite part. But also I love just the whole process and how many people it takes to put these things together, from like set design to the direction to everything. I just think it's magical.
Last question. Can you please describe to me your ideal future in the film industry?
So my ideal future is to 6 months out of the year well, I don't know actually time-wise, but to be writing and then to be directing the films that I write. So write and then go off and direct, and then be able to be home with my family while I'm writing and then go off to film.
Oh my gosh, that sounds perfect.
Right?
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Hi everyone, I'm Madison Fitzpatrick and I'm here with Juming Delmas. All right, Juming, what inspired your love for filmmaking and film in general?
I think that when I was a kid, one of my most inspiring actors, which was Will Smith at the time, he was one of the biggest inspirations. I used to watch like a lot of his films. Like one of my favorites was Wild Wild West, the very first Men in Black, Bad Boys. He was just one of those individuals. And I know it sounds kind of crazy to be inspired by someone, but it's one of those things where as children, we never really went outside. We always stayed in the house and watched TV. So when we were inside watching TV, I was like, I want to do that. And I just kind of knew, you know, it was one of those things that, you know, something I was kind of interested in doing.
So you kind of just, you just spoke about how your passion for the film industry began. Can you speak on now how it's been fueled throughout your lifetime?
Yeah. So throughout, so now currently I run a film production company called A-List Stars. I was an actor back in early years, like 2009 through like 2013, where I've worked on a lot of like major sets. Men in Black 3 is one of those, and I did actually meet Steven Spielberg on Men in Black. He was one of the individuals who was in charge of helping out with the costumes, and I actually was one of the aliens on Men in Black 3. I wore prosthetic makeup.
Can you talk about maybe just a few things that you learned from that Men in Black experience?
It's a lot of work. Like, I think what a lot of individuals don't understand, because a lot of people, and I'm running into this now just with my company, they don't realize the amount of work that actually goes into a film set production. You have to be okay with sometimes working outside in the heat or working outside in the extreme cold. You also have to be okay with working without any AC. You're gonna get hot. You have to be okay with working uncomfortably on set. And I think what I learned from Men in Black 3 is we would set a time on when we were supposed to be done with set, and we never met that time. Like, we were always after time. Like, it was supposed to be done in 8 to 10 hours, we were done in 12. So, you know, just accounting for those things.
What is your end goal, or do you have a big dream in mind?
Yeah, so my biggest dream is to work with studios, different studios, and creating and making films. Overall, my biggest end goal is to direct films, make my own films, and run a film production company and work with other studio companies in the industry.
Do you anticipate any obstacles coming in between you and these goals?
Absolutely. I think that there's always going to be obstacles. And what I believe is one of the biggest challenges now would be making sure you find the right team. And that's like one of the most biggest obstacles, especially when putting together a film production. Because like I say, a lot of people don't really know the amount of work that goes into it until they're in it. And then once they're in it, it's also, you know, some individuals are like, well, I didn't expect it to be this hard. I didn't expect this much work. So I think and that's just an obstacle that I'm bumping into just now, you know, even running my own, starting it up, is the fact that, you know, you have to be okay again with a lot of work.